What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. On today's little episode, well, it'll probably be a little weekend two-part episode, but we're going to be changing the motor in the S12 because ever since I got it, this thing has just been a blown head gasket kind of overheaty thing. So we're going to be getting this thing out of here and putting in this one. This is the motor out of that car before I did the swap to it. So it's got relatively low miles, and it wasn't automatic its whole life, so you know they don't see near as much as abuse as the 5-speeds. But this thing's just so tired, you can't even floor it and get over $4 grand. It just kind of falls on its face and slows down, and can't even do a burnout, a power braking burnout for the life of it. Even it being 5-speed, you can't even clutch dump it and it just dies. It's such a turd. But we're gonna get that out of there and get this one in there. Should be fairly straightforward and simple. These are probably like one of the easiest models of 200s to work on. The motor mounts are literally right there, and the next one's like right there, right in your face basically. So get those pulled off, and unlike the 300s and stuff, you actually have ample room to be behind everything to get the bell housing bolts and everything off. So that'll be all real easy to get off. This motor, since it wasn't automatic, I had to pull out the old pilot bushing and put in a new brass one. It's a pain in the ass to do. The best thing to do is to get the grease pilot bushing tool. If I can find it somewhere, I'll show you it, but it works great. It also broke a couple studs, so I had to take it to an exhaust shop, and they were able to heat this up hotter than shit to get the old studs out. And they put all new studs in there for me as well, so that's nice. But anyways, we're gonna have to switch over the flywheel, the clutch, pressure plate, all that stuff onto this motor. And I don't have a clutch alignment tool, but I do have some old transmissions, so I might just take a input shaft off of one of those and shove it in there and use that as a clutch alignment tool. But yeah, I'll get to disassembling this all out of here, and we'll come back to when it's farther down the line, I guess. Alright, engine's out. I was scraping some of this nasty sludge off everywhere from it being a leaky thing forever. That's gross. So definitely gonna purple power and pressure wash that out. That's standing oil just sitting in there. So the rear main seal in this motor was just totally gone. Had to pull off this exhaust manifold because I'm going to end up using it on my Maxima to redirect the turbo kind of a little bit. But when I was doing that, I noticed that someone had broken these studs off before, and they just shoved bolts in there. So, I mean, it works. At least they retapped the holes to accept those, so I was surprised with that. Another thing is, the casting of the heads are 21Vs, and that says 10L, but also on the block it should say it somewhere as well. But basically what I was reading up on is this whole motor, oh yeah, there it is, 21V. So this whole motor is actually from a D21 pickup truck or a Pathfinder that had TBI, so the throttle body injection. So now I know exactly why when you floored it and it started going up high in the RPMs, it started to get really shitty at about 4,000 or so, because the heads apparently don't have the little half moon cut for the fuel injectors. So my fuel injector is probably just spraying against a flat casting, and it's just dripping down into the intake runner and then being sucked in. So that's good to know. It's a piece of shit. It should be like this, and this motor should say it right on it. There we go. V52. So That's how I know it's at least the right one. And then it should say V52 right there as well, right on the block. So this is actually out of that car right there before I did the swap on it. And it should be doing a whole lot better once it gets put into this car. But that's where we're at so far. I just got done taking off the flywheel and the clutch from this motor, putting it onto that motor. Also, they never even had an oil pan gasket on this thing. It looks like it was just silicone. So, man, I hate that. It's just the grossest, nasty. Look at this oil just dripping from the bottom of that. Nasty thing. Speaking of which, I got a brand new high pressure line. It should be this one right here that goes down and whoop into there. But I got a brand new one of those, so I'm going to be putting that in after I get this all pressure washed out, because this is just gross. So we'll get back to it when it's all clean. Okay, had to wait a day because it just was raining like crazy out here. But new motor is in. Went in rather nicely. Just needed a little help to line it up on the pilot bushing, whatever you want to call it. So let's see if she fires up. Let that fuel pump prime. Nice. Just idling perfect at 950. I knew that was a good motor. Just purring like a kitten. Heck yeah. I still need to change the cylinder head temp sensor from this old one to the new one that's the wet style up there. This is the dry style one. And I want to say if I move this around, it'll probably change the idle a little bit. But yeah, so I just need to replace that next. But she's running nicely. Alright everybody, that's gonna do it for this episode. On the next episode, we're gonna be working on the turbo setup on the Maxima a little bit. I just got a new welder, so I've been just practicing around and doing some pie cuts and stuff like that. These are all just individual little pie cuts that I just roughly chopped up. This is just a spare crap piece of exhaust that was out there in the bushes, so just testing it out, and not too bad. I mean, obviously I'll probably be a better grinder than a welder, but we're getting there, and I'd like to start making my own stuff and parts and things. So like with these cars, they don't have any kind of a tie bar that goes over the front engine. And the only one that they do have is like hen's teeth to try to find. So I'll probably end up making my own, and then we'll make a few other things. But eventually we are going to turbo this car. So I do have the lower intake with the turbo injectors. And all I need is a turbo 86 300ZX ECU. And then just a brand new MAF, because I'm not going to run that one. Even though that one's new, it's smaller than the 300ZX MAFs by like, I don't know, 10 or 15 millimeters or so. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. So, till next time.